So it's Friday, and again, it's another time for an Umbraco U Hangout. And today I'm joined by Mark from the uSkinned team. How you doing, Mark?
Not bad, how you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So today we're going to obviously learn about uSkinned and the project behind it. But as always, let's start off with a kind of a brief introduction about yourself, Mark. How did you get involved with Umbraco?
Well, I've been a web developer for about 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
probably a wee bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Working for different agencies in Glasgow.
Uh-huh.
Moved about a bit, and then 3.5 years ago started up a small agency with a fellow designer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we've been going for 3.5 years. But around about the same time, we were kind of thinking about doing something like uSkinned, and I think a lot of Umbraco developers have probably thought about it, and it's just client work that's got in the way.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So yeah, so last well in December we launched.
Mm-hmm.
After working on it for most of the year last year, trying to figure out how we were going to do it, and yeah, it's now live.
Fantastic. So obviously you got involved with Umbraco, yeah. So a few years ago, then
Yeah,
so obviously you've been doing web development for like you say 10 or so years. How
yeah,
how
no,
how, how come the move to Umbraco? Was there just you've always been on the .NET stack or the Microsoft
yeah,
side of things, or
yeah. Always been a .NET developer. Well, started classic ASP and then obviously moved
yeah,
into .NET. Um, Probably start first Umbraco site was probably about 2008, but didn't really get heavily involved in it until about May 2010.
okay,
And a lot of the agencies that I went to had like their own custom CMS, and I'd started playing about with Umbraco, so I introduced that to a few of the agencies in Glasgow, and it's a really popular CMS in Glasgow now. All the top digital agencies use it, so
no, that's fantastic.
yeah.
So obviously you talked about the uSkin project. So
Yeah,
for people who don't know what it is, what do you want to kind of summarize it and kind of give an intro?
well, one of my frustrations with Umbraco's always been that you know yourself when clients come to you and they say, "Oh, I want a WordPress site," and then you're like, "Well, why do you want a WordPress site?" It's like because well, everybody uses it,
Yeah.
and with Umbraco, there's never anything out there that you could basically set up starter kits, set up websites just out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, WordPress there's loads of people doing it, where you can download and install a theme.
Yep.
And obviously, it's a lot easier to do with WordPress because it's a set framework behind the scenes, whereas Umbraco's a blank canvas.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why Umbraco isn't as well known, because there's a steeper learning curve to get into it. And really, although we know how easy it is to use, like half the time it's developers that are actually going and building the sites behind the scenes. And there is a steep learning curve to actually building the website, but with a starter kit, obviously you've got everything there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not trying to like say that this is the way that you should build your sites, but we're trying to pack in all the features that we think should be in a site out of the box, and
Mm-hmm.
then whoever uses our starter kits are free to expand them as they see fit.
No, that's fantastic. So shall we maybe jump over to a screen share and take a look at any example, maybe?
Yeah, well, what we've got one of our examples is it's called Source, and it's basically a stripped back version with no styling.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we use for our own client work as a starting point for every project, and I imagine there's a lot of Umbraco guys out there who've got their own version of this as well.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a baseline site. We know
Yeah,
that 90% of clients are going to want a contact form. They want
yeah,
I don't know, a news section
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, so I'll take you through a demo of this. It's basically just to show you the features, but bear in mind that it's not really styled up or anything. It's just
Yeah.
a flat kind of design. So
Right, let's jump over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the theme designs that we do are responsive as well. So like if I change the screen size, you'll see. I'll just minimize that. You'll see that adapts to mobile layout and things like that. So right. So basically, the homepage. Every design that we do will probably have a different features on the homepage, but this is kind of just standard stuff where you've got like a slider,
Yep.
some promotional pods, introduction copy, some a section that's pulling through from the blog, newsletter sign up with the validation, and then obviously you've got like your top nav. Main navigation, you've got a top navigation for like additional links.
Yeah.
You've got a footer navigation down the bottom and a wee section that we call quick links. Also got like your social icons and stuff. So everything that you see is obviously controlled via the CMS. And you've also got like the site search powered by Examine.
Brilliant.
So if I jump into the pages, this is just to give you an idea of the different kind of page layouts that you can do and the features that you can add. So this is a page with a sub-page listing. So obviously below that you've got pages below it, and there's a feature in the CMS where you can tick a box and it will automatically pull through sub-pages as a list onto this page. So you've got obviously page hierarchies, you can go down as many levels. You've got your breadcrumb. And if I jump onto page layouts, so in the CMS as well, you can basically choose the layout of your content. So there's 5 options here. You've got content left, so if I jump into that, and you've got your navigation on the right, content on the right with navigation on the left, content center, your navigation on the left. Same again, navigation on the right, and content full width. So all the themes that we've got on the site at the moment all have this feature, but this is quite dependent on the design as well. So there'll be different options depending on the themes probably going forward.
Okay. Yep.
Kitchen sink page. So the idea of this is, have you used WordPress before? Or
yes, yeah. It's been a while, but yeah.
So obviously you're familiar with shortcodes and the way that to add like kind of tab sections into WordPress content, you use shortcodes, and you can have other things like block quotes. It's like a code section where you can just drop in any code, so that could be like a Facebook widget or Twitter or something. Accordion section, like a stylized area where you've got links to documents or internal links or external links, alert boxes, newsletter sign up, slideshows, light window, galleries, and listing sections.
So kind of see this like a style guide then. Yeah,
so but the reason that WordPress used shortcodes is because it was never intended to be like a full-blown CMS at the beginning. It was always a blogging platform, whereas Umbraco is really flexible in the way that you can add content, so you don't need to use shortcodes to get these elements onto a page. You can actually create document types for them, which is something that you can't do in WordPress. So this is our version of shortcodes in WordPress, basically. And I'll show you, when we go into the CMS, I'll show you how that's all populated. Every theme comes with a blogging section, so it's just got your standard blogging stuff, like your archiving, categories, and then if I jump into an actual blog post, that loads up. Yeah, I'm in. So you've got like your meta stuff. So you've got your blog authorship, commenting, where it's just basically the commenting isn't in Umbraco. It's not controlled by Umbraco. All you do is place a Discus username, into a field, and it will automatically put your comment in. The reason we didn't do it in Umbraco CMS is because we've seen a lot of people moving towards discus commenting, because you get a lot of functionality through it, and it's good for SEO, building up your readership on your own website. So we kind of thought it wasn't necessary to put a commenting system into this and just basically rely on third party, which is what most people are going to do. Contact page. So you've got like your Google Map there, contact form. What else we've got? We've got a membership. So this is also built into the Umbraco member section. So if I just test user, log in. So it's your password protected area. You can see your user is up the top. You can log out of that. You'll get your examine search, so click search and it'll bring back the page and highlight the keywords on that page.
Yep.
You've got your sitemap, so just standard stuff. And the other thing, which is on the kitchen sink page, is you'll notice these promotional pods down the side.
Yep.
So we've created a library of different pods that you can create. And again, I'll show you all this in the CMS, but basically there's a library of pods that you can create, and then you can select the default pods that you want to appear on every new page that you create. So when you create a new page, there'll be certain pods that will appear on the wherever, depending on the layout, right hand side of the page.
Yep.
But then on a page by page level, you can override that and choose what specific pods you want to appear on that page. So all these kind of features we've built up from client request and proper client work, and we've just kind of put it all into this system. You've also got like your page not found as well, so type in like a page that doesn't exist and you've got your page not found. So basically all of that is out of the box, so it gives you a good basis for starting any website, and the majority of brochure sites, that's probably all you would need for them. So does that all make sense so far?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
Cool.
So it'd be interesting to see, obviously, from
how it's put together.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Okay. So I'll just jump into the CMS. Okay. So you've got two nodes at the top level. You've got your home node, which has got all your pages underneath it, and then we use this other one for website configuration. So this is like your global settings, and I'm sure you do similar things like this yourself.
Yep.
But in the past we've seen, like as a small agency, we've taken over work from other companies that have done Umbraco sites, and it can get quite messy behind the scenes. I've seen a lot of people putting global settings into the homepage node, and that can get really confusing for the clients because they wonder why all that information is on the homepage. Yep. So we put everything into this website configuration folder. So basically in here, you've got your global settings. So you've got standard stuff like your website name. We've got open graph, so that's like the default image that will appear if you're sharing on Facebook.
Yep.
Your default layout for your web pages, so default layout for this.
So as in when I create any new page, home is going to use this page layout.
Yeah. So that's the default layout for every page, and obviously you can change that when you get onto the page. Default newsletter settings, so all the newsletter sign-up forms are integrated with Campaign Monitor.
Yep.
So you basically just put your API key and your subscriber list ID in there, and that's all it'll work.
Fantastic.
You've got your social links, so that was the stuff I showed you obviously down at the footer. That's where you control all your social links, so that's all the most popular social networks. And then other kind of global stuff like your footer contact information, and then site-wide pods. So this was what I was talking to you about. If I go to kitchen sink page. So site-wide pods, if I click add, you can see that these are all the pods that I can basically add as my default library for every new page that I create. The site-wide pods are actually held inside this folder, so this is like my library of pods that I can use across the site. And if I want to add a new one, there's your list of different pods that you can create. So we've created some default ones, so there's like block code, general pod, image pod, listing, newsletter, video. So yeah, so basically it's just a simple case of picking. So I'll pick video pod, save and publish. So if I just go to a general page that hasn't been overridden, you can see that the video pod is displayed by default there. And then scripts for header scripts and footer scripts. So that's your kind of global settings for all the sites. Navigation. So a lot of the starter kits on umbraco.org, navigation, the pages just appear automatically on the navigation if you add them to the node tree. So, but that doesn't really work in real world scenarios because you've got different navigation elements. You've got, as I said, you've got your main nav, top nav, footer nav, might have quick links and stuff. So we organise all the navigation from this section here. So if I want a page on the top navigation, click add. I've got my node tree, so I'll say I want the contact page there. Save and publish. And if I go back to the site, you can see that the contact page is now on that navigation. So basically, you've got all your navigation elements here: top nav, main nav, footer nav, and the footer quick links. So you can organise your navigation independently of your node structure. Other stuff inside this folder is you've got repeating elements that are on the home page. So you've got your home page banners controlled in here, home page pods. I won't go through all of these.
No, that's fine.
And then we've got configuration stuff for the blog. So you can create your blog categories in here. So, and you've got your blog authors as well, so you can have global information for the blog author. Yeah, so that's everything in website configuration. So I'll just jump back. So what I'll do is I'll just create a new page, and then you can see the features if I create a new page. So I won't put anything in for it. I'll just call it test page. Right, so we've got a new test page. I'll add that to the main navigation. Test page. And go back. So we've got our test page on the main navigation now. And there's nothing on it, so let's get some. So I'll just get some copy, stick that on the page. So back to our test page, put in some content. Okay, so we've got a test page now with the default pods that we've created at the side. So what I can do is there's a pod tab, and what I can do is override the default pods. Click add, and then I'll pick image pod and the weather. Pods. Save and publish. So I'll go back to the site. You can see you can control the pods on the right hand side as well. So everything so far making sense?
Yeah, no, it's making perfect sense. Yeah.
So one of the features is these page components that we call that WordPress call them short codes or whatever.
Yep.
When you create a new page on any of our starter kits, this folder gets created automatically called page components. So this is where you manage like, the repeating elements, all the everything that I showed you on that kitchen sink page. You can manage through this folder.
Okay, so what would be an example here?
So say you wanted an FAQ section. So if I click on page component, you can see all the elements that I can add. So FAQ section is everything's got a description as well, so you would know when you come to this exactly what it's for. So pick the repeater section. So I want it to be an accordion, and then add my question. So question 1. Put some text. Add another one. Question 2. So when we started building this, we actually did it in Umbraco 6. So a couple of I think the first 2 or 3 themes on our site you can download as Umbraco 6 as well, but obviously we've decided just to scrap Umbraco 6 now, and all the new packages that we're doing are Umbraco 7, because I mean it's really good once you start getting used to it.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's so fast as well. So I've just added in 2 questions there, so that's my FAQ section added to that page. So instead of having what a lot of people might do is create a document type page for FAQs, we just add all these items onto any general page, and then you pick the page components that you want to appear on that page. Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. So can I reorder those components?
Yeah. I mean, because it's in the node structure.
Just the general order of things, the order that they get displayed.
Yeah, so just use your sort. Yeah, so stick question 2 at the top. So you've got question 2 at the top. There's also I mean, you might want to mix that page up and have these elements sitting in amongst your copy. So you've got like a wee FAQ bit, then you've got more copy. So you would just simply add a text section to page components. Let's see, publish, and you see that we've now got that sitting in the middle of the page with text. So it gives you a lot of kind of scope for varying the layout of your pages and the way the content's organised and everything, rather than having it kind of set to a particular document type that is specifically for FAQs, and it means that you're kind of stuck to the way that the designer or developers created that page for you.
No, this is very flexible and versatile. So in terms of, is it easy to create a new type of component, or is it designs that the starter kit comes with enough components that you, in theory, would never need to kind of write your own, or?
No, I mean, the way we see this working, I mean, it's obviously depends on who's using it, but if it's a small agency or a freelancer that's using it, we would imagine that they would use these as the starting point, and then add in their own components as they see fit. So yeah, it's just as easy as adding any new document type. So just create your own new document type and decide how you want it to work.
No, fantastic.
I mean, there's a lot that I could go through. I don't know if I could show you basically. So if I go to subpage listing, so one of the tabs is page settings. So that's your page layouts in there. So I can change the layout that I want. So I'll change it to content right. And it flips the content round. I can untick that box and then I won't get my sub-page listing anymore. So I don't have my sub-page listing. Okay. I can also hide the sub-navigation. So you see the sub-navigation here. Right. Yeah, so the sub-navigation's gone. I can, if I put the sub-page listing back, I can decide how much copy I want displayed as my summary text, so I can change the character around that. So just bring it down to 250. And you can see that's now reduced the copy that's come through. Now this copy comes through automatically from the introduction paragraph of the page that's getting listed. You can also override that copy, so say you didn't want it to guess what it's to display. If I go to that second level page, on the content, I've got page summary, so it says here overrides basically the default. So there you go, this is my page summary. So it's got a lot of things there that just gives you that kind of control over all your content out of the box, and that is the idea of it. It's not rocket science, it's a brochure website, but it's got all the features that you would expect to have. So yeah.
No, it's very, very good, and a great kind of starting point for, like you say, anyone who's probably new to the platform in terms of Umbraco, and like you say, anyone who's creating brochure sites on a regular basis that need 90% of these features, then this is a fantastic starting point. Yeah,
I mean, we're just working on agency theme just now, so this is like the agency theme that we're working on. So this gives you an idea of a kind of more stylized starter kit, but it's got all the features that I've just kind of demoed to you built in. So
with the kind of the base one that you've just showed us, can I put this particular theme over the top of it? So do I install something separate that then applies this kind of styling?
No, basically because there's slight variations in every starter kit, so some of them might have the document type for the homepage might have different fields on it. It's an all-in-one package, so it's like installing any package in Umbraco. Start with an empty build of Umbraco and install the starter kit, and it gives you the theme design and all your functionality behind the scenes.
Fantastic. So this is one that's in progress, or is this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is in progress. It's almost finished. We're probably going to put it live on Monday. But it's quite a nice kind of agency style theme. You can see it using like the kind of page components, and it's got like your blogging section. Just gives you a bit more feel for it because it's actually got kind of proper content in there. I mean, that's just a page component gallery section with the links disabled, so for kind of showing your client logos. So just giving you all that functionality without you having to think about how to build the HTML for this. It's kind of all there.
Yeah, no, that's really, really, really good stuff. So in terms of customization, so I've purchased this starter kit from you guys, and obviously my agency name's not called Refresh. How easy is it for me to start kind of customizing it? And I don't particularly like blue. I want it to be green or red. Is it easy for me to start kind of jumping in and kind of tweaking little bits here and there without having to know the ins and outs of maybe the markup?
Yeah, I mean, if you're changing stuff like the logo, obviously you need to go into the templates. We're not trying to give you like complete CMS control, because Umbraco is basically meant for developers, so we're not trying to take that away from the developer, as in that you upload your logo through the content section. So there's we need to find a balance between how much we provide through the CMS and how much we leave to you actually configuring it through the templates and the views. What we've done though, there's like obviously like the contact form, the newsletter sign up, the login. There's controllers and models behind them. And initially what we had done was we'd created that up as a DLL, so the code was hidden. But what we've done is, because, well, the reason we initially did that is because that's the way you would do it as a developer.
It's compiled code, deploy it as a DLL.
Yeah, you would create it as a web application, but because we want to expose all the code to everybody, what we've done is we've moved all that code into that code folder, so it's all visible. And then if a developer wants to, once they start messing about with it, move it over into like a full web application, it's pretty easy for them to do that. So all the code's there for them to do that.
No, that's fantastic. So all the codes for the controllers and the contact forms and things like that is there in that code folder.
Yes.
Fantastic. Obviously, uSkinned is obviously kind of a commercial sideline project for you. What was kind of the reasoning to kind of start this kind of pet project or side project? But what was the reasoning behind that, just to kind of get this off the ground?
Well, I mean, part of it was due to, you'll know yourself, having people you know saying they want a website for less than £1,000. It's a completely different price bracket to what agencies are charging.
Yeah.
So the idea of this was that it would, whereas you could set up a WordPress site, basically pick a theme and install it for somebody, and like the theme costs like $50, $100, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was to provide that same kind of thing for Umbraco. I mean, I'm guilty of it going back. My own website, my own personal website is a WordPress website, and it shouldn't be because I'm an Umbraco developer.
Yeah, I'm guilty as charged as well.
I wasn't going to pull you up on that, but I did. So yeah, it's basically to, we feel that if there's things like this out there for Umbraco, it could make it a lot more popular, because there is no starting point really at the moment for Umbraco unless you use one of the free kind of starter kits from Umbraco.org. But what with this, basically, because it is commercial, we've got the motivation to keep it like fix bugs in it, constantly maintain it.
Like an open source project, and client work gets in the way, and I don't have the time to kind of spend to fix bugs on this or work on features. But like you say, as it's a commercial kind of sideline project, you've got the motivation to kind of continue to keep improving this. That's fantastic.
I mean, it's only been live for 2 months, and we have had like a good response to it. One agency, I mean, we didn't really think that experienced agencies would use it, but there's an Umbraco agency in Sweden that have actually signed up to this and created a sideline in doing kind of cheaper websites, offering these themes where they'll set the whole thing up for them. And it's quite impressive what they're doing, and it's quite good for us to hear that people are seeing that much faith in it, that they're actually willing to set up a separate business based on it. I mean, we initially thought it would be more based at freelancers, but it seems to be that there's a wide range of people using it. But what we really want is the kind of novice web developers to start using it. The people that would usually start off with WordPress start off using this.
Yeah, as opposed to like the hobbyist or like you say, the person who's really new to web development. This is an ideal kind of platform to get started.
Yeah. So
obviously, like you say, it's still in its infancy. So is it just these two themes currently? So is it the one that kind of like the baseline one that you've just showed us? And
if I jump onto the site, so yeah, yeah, there's four themes on there at the moment.
Yep.
Soon to be 5. So there's a restaurant theme, a kind of company theme, a blogging theme, and the source one that I demoed to you. So they've all got their kind of wee differences. But
so for example, the restaurant theme, I presume there's more kind of content or modules or those page components that's maybe more geared towards being a restaurant aimed website in terms of I would have a menu most likely or something along those lines.
Yeah, so there's a page component for menus, so if I just jump to that. There we go. Right. Yeah, so there's a page component that's specifically for creating the restaurant menus on that theme. You can see. So basically, yeah, the user or the customer doesn't need to worry about laying out the menus and dropping in raw HTML to get their menus looking right. It's basically a document type specifically for the menus.
No, fantastic. So is there going to be kind of more, like you say, obviously there's more themes in the pipeline that you've already kind of just on that previous page. So is there going to be more kind of geared at different kind of business models in terms of like you've got obviously one for restaurants, one for the agency, one for is there more in the pipeline or plans?
Yeah, I mean we've got quite a lot kind of in the pipeline to do, and we're trying to do different business themes. But the thing is, with each kind of starter kit is, although that's a restaurant theme, there's no reason you couldn't use it to be an agency theme. It's just basically the style and the name that we've given to it, and the way we've added the content to make it look like a restaurant website, but it could be a website for anything really.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in and ask how much does all of this cost? I'm going to be a freelancer, or I'm a junior or a hobbyist, and I've come across uSkinned, and I think this looks ideal for me.
Yeah.
How much?
Well, not a lot. It's very cheap. So you can download an individual theme package for £69.
Yep.
Plus VAT. And we've got a 50% discount running just now on the yearly subscription, and the yearly subscription gives you access to all of them, and you can download them as you see fit, use them on as many websites as you want, and the yearly subscription basically just gives you access to every new theme that we put on there and support.
Okay, so in terms of support, what would be a typical kind of support request that you guys would see? Is it that I'm trying to make my background red, and someone who doesn't know CSS or is a hobbyist?
Yeah, I mean,
would that be a support request? What would be classed as a support request in this kind of field of work?
Well, what we've tried to be clear about in our terms and conditions is that we're not supporting Umbraco. So if you've got Umbraco-related questions, we'll send you over to the Umbraco forum.
Yep.
But if it's, I'm trying to think of any support inquiries we've had. I mean, some people, we had a support inquiry from somebody, basically they'd installed the starter kit on top of one of the default starter kits. So it wasn't working. Or it was working, but you basically had two like node trees in there for like the homepage. So yeah, that was a support request, and basically we just went in and deleted the other starter kit for them.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I see on that pricing there as well that it also gives me the raw Photoshop files as well. So if I pass this over to a colleague or a designer or a contractor that can use a bit more design au fait than say myself, then they can obviously get in there and kind of fiddle around and do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, definitely. That's all provided.
That's fantastic. So also just skimming across the top navigation, I see guides. Is that kind of documentation in terms of how to use these things, or?
Yeah, I mean, we want to put a lot more content into this, but put together, so the beginner's guide to Umbraco. So basically what I've just kind of taken you through, there's the videos are all kind of split up into sections. So there's like a video on the navigation, a video on website configuration.
Yeah.
What we're planning on doing in the future is actually creating a PDF instructional guide to explain like the website configuration. Idea of that is we're going to leave it white labeled so that you can pass it on to your client as your instruction guide for using Umbraco.
Excellent. No, that sounds a fantastic idea in terms of, like you say, passing it on to the end client as some kind of documentation.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So what's planned for uSkinned next? What's coming up? So obviously you said the agency theme is kind of getting at a point where even potentially Monday that it could be rolled out. But are we going to be seeing kind of new features, or kind of is the focus more on kind of the themes? What's the goal in terms of moving forward? Say next 6 months.
Ultimately, at the moment, we're trying to get as many themes on there as we can, because obviously there's only 4 there at the moment, so it might put people off actually going for the full subscription. That's why we've got the discount at the moment, but we have been putting a new theme on every month so far, so that our aim is to keep having a new theme design every month.
Okay, so that's a good goal, or a good semi-realistic goal in terms of getting new fresh content to the service.
Yeah, but obviously we are still a digital agency ourselves, so we're still doing client work, and along with that client work comes their requests for features, and if there's anything that we actually see would benefit any of these themes, we'll be putting them into the starter kits as well.
No, that sounds the best approach in terms of doing this kind of work. Getting real world feedback from end clients that is the main kind of digital agency work that you guys do, and then taking it over to kind of this sideline project. And I think that's the best thing that is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, with doing this as well, it's made our starter kits better for our own clients, because we're having to maintain them well and bug fix them well, and it means that we are consistently getting better and better every client site we do, so we see all that knowledge going into the starter kits that we're providing. And it gives us a market for, I said, we've got an agency in Sweden that's using it, we've got people that have downloaded it from all over the world, so it's given us a market to sell Umbraco to people that we would never have been able to before. And hopefully it will make Umbraco more popular as well, and I'm sure it will, because
of course it will.
Every new site's making it more popular.
Anything that can help to early adoption is definitely going to help the Umbraco as a platform in general get more and more popular. So that's fantastic. Is there anything else we want to run through in terms of demo, in terms of before we wrap up?
I don't think so, unless you've got any.
No, nothing comes to mind. I think I kind of trying to interject as best as possible when things come up. So no, that's been fantastic, Mark, and it's been a great little demo. And I'm having to lean in here. So the link, if anyone wants to find out more, is uSkinned.net. Yes.
Yes.
So if you want to start building your sites on these kind of starter platforms, then that's the place to go.
Cool.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mark. Have a good Friday and a good weekend. And I will do. And I'll catch up with you soon.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Warren.
No problem. Cheers. Mark.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.